Arabica coffee is on the move. Prices in New York just hit their highest in more than 4 months, driven by a mix of weather concerns, currency moves, and geopolitical factors. I'm Johanna Bota, and here to unpack it all is StoneX's Market Intelligence Manager Brazil, Fernando Maximiliano. Welcome, Fernando. Thank you for joining us today. I just mentioned some of the recent drivers behind the rally, but first, can you actually walk us through the bigger underlying challenges that this market is dealing with right now?
Hi, Johanna. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you. Well, we saw a very volatile market. Coffee's been challenging, and we can highlight several topics that are impacting the coffee market throughout these past weeks. First, there is some of the things are not new, but they are persistent. For example, we can highlight the low global stocks. So we have been using global stocks since 2021. According to our estimates, we used more than 20 million bags out of global stocks, and this leads to a very tight situation this year. The crop this year is not able to recover, replenish the stocks, globally speaking, and that is something that will persist until the next crop harvesting. Another thing important is the lower production in Brazil. So we already knew that. We spoke about it many times, but recently we just updated our numbers and we saw an even lower Arabica production. So we're looking at a 18.4% decrease in the Arabica production in Brazil. So that is something else that adds to this move. And also we saw the models were not able to catch it properly, but we saw a small frost on August 11th and 12th. And also these tariffs, those tariffs are acting as a bullish factor to prices in New York and worldwide.
So, on top of the frost and on top of the other things that you just mentioned, coffee areas in Brazil are also facing some dry conditions. What impact does this lack of rain have on the crop?
Well, this is a very critical topic, and for sure, this is the main topic right now on the market, and this will be the guide for the next price trend we'll see in the coming months. We are now in the flowering stage in Brazil, the Arabica flowering stage in Brazil. It is a crucial stage where any weather issue could cause a damage to the potential of the crop in 2026. So, just as a reference, I just mentioned we saw a large decrease in the Arabica production, and that was because of drought in September and October in 2024. So we are in the same period, and the models are showing the last update from NOAA is showing more than 70% of La Nina to come in between October, November, and December. And La Nina is related to dryness and delay in the rainfall in the coffee belt in Brazil. So it is a crucial stage. The market is watching it closely. We saw prices moving, having some pressures, bullish pressures from this concern. Right now, we're seeing that those coffee regions are about to get some rain. The volume is below average, but it is forecast in the forecast we can see some rain on 22nd and 23rd, which will help to improve the conditions. But it is important, Johanna, to highlight that the situations right now is not the same as we saw last year. So last year, we at this moment we were with a much lower soil moisture, and because we faced a very long dry period, and that's not the case in this year. We have a better moisture level in the soil. Also, last year we saw very high temperatures up to 40 degrees Celsius or even higher for a long period, and that is not happening this year. So it is a better situation. There is this expectation of rainfall is still below average, but the market is concerned because we're seeing weather problems since 2020 impacting the production in Brazil at different levels.
I see. And let's leave weather aside for a moment. Earlier in my intro, I did mention currency moves. And in this case, I'm talking about the weaker dollar. So, how is the US currency influencing coffee prices right now?
Okay, so the currency has a very direct impact in New York. So when we see the dollar weakening, we this is bullish to the New York contract because basically when we saw the dollar falling against, for example, the Brazilian currency, it is less interesting for the farmers in Brazil to sell because they're receiving less in real. So you have a lower supply, a lower offer, and then that is bullish to New York. And we saw the dollar weakening these past days ahead of the decision from the Fed, which decreased the interest rate. And Brazil also, the central bank in Brazil, the expectation is to keep it unchanged, so that changes a little bit the arbitrage between Brazil and the US, and that is it is bullish to the bearish to the dollar. So we saw the dollar weakening over the past days, and that was also a bullish factor on New York prices.
Fernando, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks to our viewers for watching. For more financial content, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.